Wife support. Wife support. Welcome to Wife Support.
Hey, I'm Kaycee Conlee, comedian, wife, and the one who reads the financial books.
And I'm Amanda Conlee, nonprofit exec, wife, and person who happily doesn't have to do our taxes.
And this is Wife Support, a podcast about queer marriage, grown-up gay life, and all the messy, magical stuff in between. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for polls, clips, and exclusive Wife Support content. I'm at Kaycee Conlee, and I'm so glad you're here. We're so glad you're listening.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. I have to say, we've already started getting some feedback from people.
Oh my gosh, the nicest thing ever last night.
I know. We were at this little neighborhood market type thing in our beloved Frogtown, and our neighbor, who we hadn't seen in a while, just saw, I guess, a couple clips on social media, and he said some really sweet stuff about, I don't even know specifically, I don't know if I remember exactly the words, but they were nice.
I think he was basically just like, your personality's really come through, we can see your dynamic.
Yeah.
It's really, he's like, keep it up, it's really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice.
So,
it was
nice
great.
of him to say also.
Yes. And today, I'm sure you've seen the title because you're listening to the podcast and you see the title of the episode, but we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about queer money.
Is queer money different than straight money? Breeder money?
We're going to talk about that.
Oh.
But first, you know what it's time for?
What?
We got a dilly-dally.
I don't want to call it that. Why do you have
Let's
to call it that?
That's such a cute thing to be like, oh, this is what we're going to talk about, but first we're going to dilly-dally, and we're just going to talk about and catch up.
So we're going to do Kaycee's pure nonsensical way of life.
Doesn't that sound fun? Doesn't that sound like a joyous occasion?
Okay, what are we dilly-dallying about today?
Well, first we need to, there's an order of business, and there's a what's gayer.
Oh.
From last week.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's not dilly-dallying, that's business.
Okay, see? So there's some productivity that happens with the dilly-dally. Okay. So business, I love that we're calling it business. We're standing on business in this podcast.
Our business agenda is what's gayer.
Yeah. Oh, but actually, interestingly enough, we're taping a week ahead, so we actually haven't posted this to get the poll results yet.
No.
So we'll have them for you next week, which will be, I guess, in 2 weeks. Whatever. We don't have them. I don't want to lie to you, is what it is, and pretend like we've done the poll.
You don't think that you just know?
This one I really don't think I do know. It was matching outfits, or when people asked if you're related. I don't know if I can guess.
So you need to get better at your timing of when you post the poll.
No. The episode hasn't come out yet. In the time we are recording this, it hasn't come out yet. And so what I'm trying to do is avoid lying.
Okay,
maybe it'll be an extra incentive for people to go vote on the poll because then you can see the live results.
Okay.
You don't have to wait and hear about it.
That's fair.
But the truth is, we will have the results. I just don't have them for you yet. We're from the future, if you will.
Did you just see the fly that just flew by my face?
Yes.
Did you think the camera caught it? I can't wait for
know.
Finnegan to start chasing that thing mid-episode.
I would also love to know who's watching this. I mean, other than my mom and dad, who I know are probably watching instead of listening. But I'm curious who else. It's going to be getting some views. Nothing crazy, but it's been getting more than just my parents on YouTube. So somebody's watching.
All right.
And I would love to know who's watching. So tell me on Instagram or comment on YouTube and tell me who you are. Because I'm assuming that it's all people we know.
100%. There's nobody watching or listening to this that we don't know.
That's what I'm assuming, yeah. And I hope that changes, but for now, I don't think it's changing. One thing I did want to talk about is we had a really good weekend workout together.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's worth mentioning that's something that we didn't always do together.
I think we tried to, but schedules are hard and blah, blah, blah.
No, I'm saying early days when we, I've always been a person who does a workout. I know you used to go to the gym for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Or I ran. Ugh, why?
But as far as choosing to spend, it was our Saturday morning prime time of the day. We were there at 11, 12, whatever. We like to work out together. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really fun. And it wasn't always the case, but we both enjoy health and being healthy. Maybe we'll have a future episode about that, but we had a lovely workout together. We went to a gym, which is, I always feel a little bit silly when we do this because
we go to a physical gym?
No.
Oh.
Not that specifically.
Oh.
We have this subscription to Beachbody. It's Beachbody On Demand, or now it's called Beachbody Interactive or something. BOD.
I think it's called
BOD with a lowercase I.
I think that's Beachbody On Demand Interactive. Yeah, BODI.
Yeah. So exactly what I said.
Yes, you're right. You're correct.
So it's this like subscription service that where you have access to like all of Beachbody's like encyclopedia of workouts. They have a bunch of different trainers, a bunch of different workouts. We use those all the time in our home gym, or we have some weights and stuff. But what we'll do, which I think is kind of funny and silly, is that we'll go to the gym to then do a video.
They have better work. Like, they have benches and they have bigger weights and fun toys.
I enjoy doing it. I like being able to like not worry about my neighbors if I'm making too much noise, to have, like you said, the better equipment and weights and the space and the mirrors, and it's all great. I'm just saying sometimes I feel a little silly when we're like literally spread out in a gym with your phone down on the floor and we both have a headphone in because we're doing a workout together.
I think we have to live our lives, and I think it's fun. Yeah. Although, next time we go, I really want to watch, notice I say you, I don't want to do it. I want to watch you, you know, there's this one gym we like to go to.
Why do I feel like you're about to make fun of me?
No, I'm not. It's this gym we like to go to in Echo Park. It's really fun. It's like CrossFit Tetris of a gym.
Yeah. By the way, we're not advocating for CrossFit.
No, it's just like, that's what it feels like. It's very like industrial.
Yeah.
It's got this like fake grass like section through it.
Yeah.
Turf. And they have those sleds.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to watch you push a sled.
I pushed them.
I know. I want to watch you do it though.
Okay. Well, I definitely pushed them while you were there before.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Well, we can do that. We were laughing because at one point in our workout, when she calls it CrossFit Tetris, it's because it's a very like industrial, dark, dank space with a lot of different areas for like different types of workout. It's not your traditional gym in a sense. There's like a weight room, but then also like this WOD workout of the day room, which a lot of stations lined up. And then the cardio equipment there's not like a station of cardio equipment. It's sort of like you'll see a treadmill random places. Like it's very unique. And so we had kind of posted up in this one area where it has a bunch of free weights, like a bunch of dumbbells and a mirror space and a little workout space. And the room is big enough where the other people are working out around us. But when we got there too, it was pretty empty. So we had the whole room to ourselves. And then people were working in and out. But this one guy.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
He's just like your definition of like the bro that's like grunting and dropping the weights. And like at one point he came up where you're supposed to walk up, and if you're not familiar with gyms, like there's a system in place. There are sort of like unspoken rules. And one of them is like when you go to get the free weights, when you grab the weights, you pick them up and you take them to where you're working out. You don't just work out right in front of the weights because people need to get in and out of there. And this man would literally just walk up, brace himself on the weights, like on the top row of weights rack, grab the bottom weight that he wanted to do and just start rowing right there. I was like, what are you doing?
It's just like the biggest tool. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's such a gym bro.
We were talking about him after because I know
we like moved rooms because he was on my nerves so much. I was like, I cannot listen to him drop these weights anymore.
Which is really funny because I was totally in my little zone of like listening to our workout guy and I was like not paying attention to him. And then when you explained when we moved, I was like, oh yeah, he was super annoying. But like, I was just listening to Joel Freeman. Is that his name? Yeah. He was our workout instructor yesterday. But I don't know. I think it's really cool to share that thing together, and it wasn't always something we shared, and I think it's cool and worth sharing.
Me too.
To you, our podcast listeners.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Our wives. Is that what we should call our listeners? Our wives.
Our wives. I really enjoy it. I think it's one of those things that like I want to do anyway. Getting to spend the time together that we wouldn't have spent it together because we'd have been doing our own thing. Plus, I feel like I work out harder because I feel like you're watching me, and I'm like, oh, she's watching me. I better have perfect form.
Yeah, well. We have high fives and we like keep each other motivated and
I'm 100% just like picturing you admiring me the whole time, and so I'm like better look good.
Well, that's what I'm doing usually. I'm oogling you, but I was gonna say oogling, googling,
googly eyes.
I don't know which one it is.
I'm actually not entirely certain.
Yeah, and I don't even have my laptop here to find out. We'll just have to live our lives.
Okay.
I'll stick with
this. Can't be another andouille situation. There's a situation over the years in which Kaycee and I have realized sometimes we say things wrong, and we've been saying them wrong our whole lives.
But we both say them wrong?
But we both say them wrong, and so we didn't know until somebody calls us out. And so I don't actually know, and I don't want to be on record saying it wrong.
Okay, so we don't know if it's oogling or ogling. We'd love to find out if you know. And let me just say the andouille situation is that we thought it was andouille.
Yeah.
And it's andouille.
Yeah.
And that was embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as frustrated, though.
Oh. Okay, so this is a nice little intro into our relationship and anybody's relationship, that when you notice that your partner says something wrong, the time in which to point it out that they say it wrong is not in the fight.
And it doesn't have to be something as specific as a word they've always pronounced wrong, which in this case it is, but it could be like if they use grammar incorrectly, or if they, there's a time and a place to correct somebody on that stuff.
So
and when it's a word like frustrated,
our entire dating lives, Kaycee would say frustrated. She'd forget the first R.
When I hear it now, it's so, I'm like, what? I said that? But
okay,
yeah.
This is a David Smith shout out because it definitely comes from him.
I think it might come from my mom too. They're a situation where no one's corrected. They're frustrated is our andouille.
Okay. Anyway, Kaycee said frustrated forever, and every time. But she, of course, only really says it when she's frustrated about something. Hang on, and we would be in the middle. And I would be like, don't say it now, don't say it now. So like, I don't know how many years later, I was like, hey, I just want to bring this up. Do you know that the word is actually frustrated? And then you were like, what?
Yes, and because you chose the right time to bring it up, we could both have like a nice laugh, and I could take it on the chin about it, but instead of being like super mad and, it piling on to when I was already frustrated.
I hope people are watching this, because the way you just like threw your hair around.
It's funny you bring this up too, because, and this will be a real great test of if my sisters are listening, because I think they still say fussed.
Oh, they absolutely do.
You noticed it before?
I've noticed it. But I can't, I'm not going to correct your sisters.
Yeah, if I get an opportunity, I would. But again, as you've so valiantly pointed out, oftentimes the use of that word is happening when they are in that state, and it is not a good time to correct.
Correct.
So they live on, and it's very frustrating. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, fun.
That was a good dilly-dally.
See?
Yeah,
you
okay.
like the dilly-dally.
I don't know that we need to call it a segment,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's fun to dilly-dally with you. I kind of like talking to you.
That's so sweet. I guess that's, in a way, that's what you're doing with spending your life with me, right? We're just dilly-dallying our lives away. That's life.
I guess.
The best times are spent dilly-dallying. I did have one other topic for our dilly-dally, though.
Okay, what?
If you don't mind.
Sure.
Yesterday, we had a really great day together yesterday. We worked out together yesterday. That's the other point I made. But also we went and got mani-pedis.
Oh, yeah, it was lovely.
Or more specifically, pedis.
Yeah.
And I got a mani. But I think it was really fun to... So usually when we go, it's like, it's a treat. We don't go a lot. But when we go, it's usually like... we're there to like chat. We're going to have chit chat. We're going to have spa time, whatever. It's like hang out. And I said earlier in the week when I was having a very long week that I was like, I think I need some me time. And I was like, I want to go get like maybe a pedicure or get like my nails done, just to have like some like decompress. And so when you were interested, you pointed out, you're like, well, I wouldn't mind going, but also if this is for you, if this is you time and you just want to go and like listen to a podcast or like zone out, I don't have to come.
Correct.
And I thought that was so... I mean, it's like an important part of a relationship to be like, to read between the lines of like, okay, well, this is something I would love to do with you, but if what you're doing it for is something that doesn't require me or I might ruin, that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to tell me if I might ruin it. But I also thought like kind of what we did was sort of like a split the difference.
Yes.
Where we didn't talk to each other the whole time.
We didn't talk that much.
No, I was busy eavesdropping on the old lady in front of us.
Yeah. But what it ended up being was I told her, I do want to like recharge a little bit, but I think I can recharge with you there if you'd like to come. And let's just set that expectation going in that I really just want to like, I always, once the massage starts, massage starts in any pedicure, manicure situation, it's not talkie time.
No.
I want to,
yeah.
And so I often close my eyes because you got to take it in, and I don't want to talk or talk to.
That's how I feel about my hairdresser. Includes a 10-minute massage when she cuts your hair.
And
like
she knows.
Scalp
She doesn't
massage.
talk.
She knows. You guys are we're talking, we're catching up, whatever. And then as soon as she starts that, she stops, and I'm like, oh, bless you.
She gets it. She gets it for sure.
And it is worth every penny.
I thought I enjoyed going to get the pedicure with you, and I liked that we didn't have to make it like some kind of hang or whatever.
Yeah.
It could just be that companionable silence, as they call it.
Shared time.
Yeah. So that was all my shouts. We can get into the episode. Oh, one last. Okay. I forgot that also I should be promoting my shows.
Oh, because you're a comic? Right.
Yeah. as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm a comedian. I do have a really exciting show coming up. It's not till November 14th, so you have time, plenty of time to get tickets. I'll be in Burbank at Flappers. I'm doing a full hour. They're really cool about giving me these hour-long sets, like not often. Like I would say maybe 2-3 times a year most locally. So if you are local to Burbank or you're going to be here in November, please come to my show, November 14th at Flappers. It'll be awesome to have you.
I'll be there. You can come sit with me.
That's true. You will be there. Yeah, because Amanda comes to the long ones. She doesn't come to every show.
No. But if you're headlining, I'm there.
Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, it's perfect. So if you can make it, please come out. And now...
Wait, before we dive in.
Do you have a dilly-dally?
No. Well, yeah, I guess. Can I just tell you, I'm sitting here watching Finnegan over your shoulder, and this fly is antagonizing the crap out of him.
Hold on. For the people at watching, I want to give them a special all-access pass. He's laying in his bed, and he's watching the fly with disgust, but not a lot of urgency to do anything about it.
But it just, it keeps whizzing by his head, and he'll
snap at it.
And just, snap at it.
Maybe a future story for another episode is about how I made him afraid of flies, and that's my bad. But he's a good dog.
All right, we can get into queer money now.
Queer money. Okay, so basically when I talk about this, I just want to talk about the financial aspect of being in a relationship that's queer, right? Which I think has some unique points to it.
Okay.
But before we dive in, I thought my question to lead things off could be do you have a first memory of learning about financial lessons or money, early on?
Yes, I do. Do you have one that you want to go first?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. I do. Actually, okay. When I guess it was right after I got my driver's license, so I would have been 16. My parents would give me a set of money every month because they wanted to teach me how to budget and how to use a checkbook. And so they
checkbooks.
Yeah. We're dating ourselves a little bit here, but
yeah, I wonder if that even happens to kids nowadays.
And they wanted to do that because, since I had a car, because I was going to have to be managing gas expenses and stuff like that. So I did have a part-time job in high school, so I did have a little bit of spending money. But then the money that they decided that they were going to give me, and that was just money for the month. They would put it directly in my checking account every month, and I had to balance my own checkbook. And then every month, my dad would sit down with me, and he would check the bank statement versus my checkbook, and he would teach me.
That's perfect. That's a great exposure to money and finances. You had an allowance and a little budget.
Yeah, and then when I got to college, he changed it to a credit card because he was like, we need to start building your credit. And he was like, you put 1 tank of gas on it every month, and we pay it off. Okay. And that way, when you get out of college, he's like, we'll add to it as it goes, but when you get out of college, you will have a credit history.
That's great. Yeah, that's really great.
JD Conlee, he's a smart dude.
Yeah, I mean, my parents both worked in financial software.
Oh, so you had a leg up.
No. I'm not saying. I honestly don't think my experience is much different from yours. I was going to say very similarly, but they understood the importance of teaching it. They had 3 girls. Because one of the things I want to talk about this, specifically related to queer money, is about gender roles and how it's taught.
Oh, true. I mean, it's
so different.
Funny that you say that. Literally, I remember my dad saying, I never want you to have to, this is back when he thought I was straight. Well,
the sentiment is nice still.
He would say, I never want you to have to rely on a man for money.
Yeah. Which is the sentiment, again, is you don't have to rely on anyone else.
Correct. We'll just change that to another human being.
Yeah. He's a good man. Yeah. It's a good lesson. I remember being very, very little, or not, I don't know when they started, but I had these, we called them Saturday chores in our house. So my parents basically divvied up the chores between me and my sisters, and every Saturday you had to do your chores. And part of it was you really couldn't make plans or go out or do anything. And I was young enough where I think the only thing I wanted to do was go play in the neighborhood or play with my friends. But then for my sisters, they couldn't go out with their friends until you did your Saturday chores. So that was one big part of it. But you also got money. You got you didn't get your allowance until the Saturday chores were over.
You had an allowance?
Hold up.
Wow.
I think it was $1.
Oh, okay.
I think
90s allowance.
I would love for my parents to listen to this and correct me. But in my mind, it was, we each got assigned, we had to clean our room, dust and vacuum, clean our room. We each were assigned a bathroom. We had to clean the bathroom and the toilet or whatever. And then we each were assigned one room in the house. So the kitchen or the dining room or whatever. And then once those 3 things were done, you got your allowance. And It may have gone up. I remember at least the earliest iteration, I think it was $1. You got $1. Maybe it did go up. I would love for my parents to chime in and what they remember, because that's my childish brain. I do remember, though, getting different, you still could make money doing different chores. So those were like our assigned, you have to do.
Like cutting the grass or something?
Yeah, like or washing cars was a big one. I used to make like good money because both my older sisters had cars at one point, and so I could get them to pay me, or like
nice.
I'd wash like a whole assembly line of them.
Entrepreneurial.
Yeah. Or like cut the grass. Yeah, I would mow the lawn, and then we had a front lawn and a backyard lawn. And if I did both, it was more money than.
Really?
Yeah, because I only had you really only had to do the front to like, the back could go like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Oh man, your dad was way more lax than my dad.
Well, and then I got extra if I edged or if I blew the driveway. You could get a little kicker for that. So I think maximum if I did it all, it was like maybe $20.
What? I take it all back. JD Conlee, you cheapskate. Did it all for free.
Oh no. Well, my mom didn't like me doing it, but I don't remember if it was because she didn't want me out with like the dangerous tools, or is because I always wanted to wear flip flops.
Oh, you can't wear flip flops while you cut the grass.
I know, but here the grass stains on my shoes that they would get from.
You wear your old grass cutting shoes.
So if I wore sandals, I didn't have to get. They were fine.
Oh man, really good way to cut your toe off.
No, I think I managed to do it maybe once or twice and got yelled at, and then I was like, okay, it's not worth the cost.
Wait, okay. Were you the type when you would get your allowance to spend it, or were you a allowance saver?
Oh, speaking of that, that was a question, the topic I wanted to get into later about what do you save, what do you spend on, what do you save?
Oh, really? Okay, well, I'm curious about your childhood habits.
I think I spent mine pretty good. I might have, later on, I probably got more into I'm going to spend half and save half, right? But no, I think I spent it. I would spend it pretty quickly.
That's very surprising to me, knowing the
what
human
you know
that you grew up to become.
I know, you're right. But that's why I say I think later I started. But it would be a matter of what was I saving for? If I had my eye on something,
sure.
I was good at being more goal oriented like that if I needed to save it for something. But I was a kid and very much ooh, what do I want? What's that immediate gratification that I can get from whatever I want to buy this week? I think the things I remember saving the most for are CDs.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I might go but yeah, I mean, my parents treated us pretty good. If there was anything that wasn't too expensive that we really wanted, they might just splurge on it for us.
Yeah, I think my parents did the same. That's why I didn't really get an allowance, because it was I didn't get an allowance, but if I wanted to go to the movies with my friends, they would give me $10 for a ticket and a popcorn.
Yeah. Gosh, $10.
Yeah.
Would have covered a ticket.
Don't you remember when a matinee at AMC was $3.50?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're literally planning to go see the new Downton movie today, and I think the tickets were $50, 54 maybe.
Total. Yeah, including the convenience fees. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy though.
Yeah.
Wow, we sound old by the way.
We also didn't have recliners back then.
That's fair. We didn't have recliners. I think they've also had to increase the cost some to have all those amenities.
Oh, totally.
And you lose seats.
Yes. Also that's a good point. And it's more expensive to make movies now, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay. Speaking of, do I get to tell the story that's the Kaycee lives in infamy story with money during this podcast?
What story? Oh. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Sure, you can talk about it.
Why don't we'll come back to it.
Okay, well, don't forget it.
I won't.
I do want to just, before we dive into some of those fun stories, just to talk about how our dynamic around money has changed since we started dating versus when we started living together. So when we first started dating, I feel like it was whoever's date night it was would pay. Or sometimes we would just split it.
That's true, because I think in standard traditional things, you expect the man to pay for a certain amount of time, but it doesn't work that way in queer relationships.
No, it doesn't. I mean, every relationship and every queer relationship is different.
Sure.
But I think early days we had a sort of a thing where it was we were long distance, it was who's treating.
Yeah.
And I feel it was sort of understood that I had flown to Amanda, so I had paid for the flight, so Amanda was going to pay for dates there.
Yeah.
Vice versa would be true when you came to LA. It was okay, you're here now, dates are on me. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it was sort of and then when you moved here, I think the same thing was whose date night is it, or we're just splitting.
Yeah, I think we kind of evolved once I moved here into going Dutch.
Yeah, it was, and that was totally fine.
Yeah.
And then when we started living together, I remember I was I'm super, I mean, even now, I pay our rent the day before it's due. To me, it's due the day before. So everyone's like, rent's due on the 1st. I'm like, no, it's due on the last day of the month. That's when I pay it. And so I'm like, I want to pay it because I'm insane about it.
Well, you also like, you set up everything on auto pay because you wanted to make sure and like you didn't want to run the risk of forgetting. And so we would split the utilities. I think it actually ended up being like,
we didn't split them in half. It was like, how do they shake out? I think it was like one person paid the water and power bill, which is huge. And then the other person paid everything else.
Yeah.
And then it was like, let's make sure it's generally, that was came out as a wash. And it was like, we're good. But we did split everything. I think we were always really diligent about making it equal.
Yeah, and then later when we got more serious after we like moved in together and it had been a while, we got a shared credit card. And that we would put our household expenses on the shared credit card.
Yeah.
And then we would each split it at the end of the month.
Okay. I was going to say, and then eventually when we got married, we had many conversations about this because I had, in my mind, it was like, okay, we'll have a shared bank account. That's how couples work. But then I had modeled to me when I talked to like my sisters and others, I was like, some people don't do that. And it's okay to there's different situations that work for different couples where they're like, some of them have a shared bank account and then they each have their own bank accounts. And then they might put like a percentage of their paychecks into each and to distribute and like what's shared and what's theirs. And we talked about all those scenarios. I remember discussing it with you. Do you remember this? You looked kind of
I do remember this. I'm just remembering like, well, I guess the thing I really wanted to make sure I said was like, we were also really lucky enough to have people in our lives, particularly friends that we were really close to, who were willing to talk about money with us. Cause like, I know you grew up in a similar household as I did, that like, you did not talk about money outside of the family unit. And like, so to talk about money, which let's be honest, I don't love that now. I try not to practice that now because it's what teaches this mindset that like women don't have a lot of financial acumen because like
you mean you talk about it now?
I talk about it now
very openly and freely. Try to be for the most part for our close friends.
Yeah, because it's like I just think like this idea that you keep it so insular is what
perpetuates all of that.
Yeah, and it holds women back. It really does. And like so like the position that I hold at work and stuff, I coach the younger staff on how to ask for raises, on how to negotiate a new job opportunity, on how to do all that because like we weren't taught that.
Yeah. It's really important, I think too. You make a really good point. Like even I remember like my first job I didn't know that you could like counter.
Yeah.
They gave me an offer. Like my first job out of college, they gave me an offer and I was like, cool,
money. Yay.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, you idiot.
I mean, gosh, even I just took this job 2 months ago. You had to coach me through a counter because I still feel I am almost 40 years old and I'm a COO and I still feel uncomfortable negotiating for myself for money.
Yeah. I mean, so you make a really good point. I also want to shout out to, there's a comedian that's really known for this, Maria Bamford, who talks about how much she makes. I mean, she's a very popular and very successful comedian, but her talking about what she makes at gigs helps people like me, comedians like me, and on every level to know obviously I'm not on that level, but to know what she's making and to talk about it openly, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
It's good to know. It's good as I mean, I don't want to say it's obviously not the temperature I'm at. I'm not taking that temperature to be like, oh, this is what I need to ask for. But it trickles down, and so it gives you some idea.
Sure.
And I think that transparency, it can be really scary and hard, but it's really awesome. And like you said, it empowers women and each other. So yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Go back to when we got married. What we decided to do.
Oh, so in our particular instance, we decided to get a shared bank account. And I think one thing in our situation that helped is at the time we were making similar money and we had similar goals. And we had like you said, we were raised similarly where we had the same outlook. I do think the best part about the takeaway is to just talk about it.
Yeah.
To talk about it, and especially I think depending on how we were raised or where your money situation was at home, there might be triggers around money for you. There might be shame. There might be a control issue. There like a power dynamic thing for you. And so and that's okay.
There might be trauma around money.
So, and that's okay. But if you can communicate that to your partner and get it in the clear so that you have a way to meet in the middle and discuss it and find a solution, whatever that means for your relationship, it's just so important to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think like queer couples, especially lesbians, they just maybe aren't given the same, I don't know if there's some secret class that guys are taking that women aren't. I do think that all of the money information out there needs to change. Like as someone, as we joked in the beginning, as a person who does our taxes, why wasn't there a class I took
I think
that we all took in college or whatever?
No, there needs to be a class in high school
Agreed.
about managing personal finances.
And it should include how to do your taxes.
Absolutely. Why can't that be a section of a math class? Like, I don't understand.
It doesn't have to be like crazy in depth, like, you could still hire accountants. It's not going to put them out of business. But to know like the terminology and know how to read a form, like just pull out a 1040 for everybody.
I mean, to know how to fill out a W-4 when you're taking a new job of like, do you put 0 or 1 or like, how do you decide? And like,
yes. It's like, it needs to be like
I still think about it. I'm like, wait, what did we do?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Anyway, I feel like that was really great. So wait, now let's get into some fun. What do you spend on? How do you treat yourself? Oh wait, there was one last point I wanted to make.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
We're all on the journey of your brain today.
Okay. Welcome to my life, by the way. The point I wanted to make about us creating this joint bank account is I don't know if you even remember this, but you probably will because your memory is insane. She remembers everything. But early days when we did start this bank account and stuff, we basically made an agreement that was like, I think it was $100 at the time.
Oh yeah.
Anything under $100, don't check in with me. Don't ask me permission, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you need a new pair of shoes or if you need a whatever, go get jeans or whatever it might be. If you're spending less than $100, you don't have to like ask or worry about it or whatever, because it's just like our shared money, right? And it was like, if it was over 100, let's either an FYI or a heads up or just make sure it's cool.
Yeah.
And that, it's funny to think about that threshold at the time.
Oh yeah.
Of $100.
Oh,
But
totally.
that, when our early 20s was like, okay, this is a big purchase then.
Yeah.
And we had sort of that agreement. And now, I don't know, I think what works for us is just like communicating, not keeping score. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, well, I got a pedicure and a manicure, so Amanda only got a pedicure. And that means that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no like, I don't know, we're not counting.
No.
And I think that's what's worked for us.
We're not counting it, but I also think like inevitably, assuming your relationship works out, your money situation is probably going to ebb and flow and change. Like over the years, the way ours has, I mean, like the way our careers have gone on and, where our money is now. And it's just like, not all things are going to stay the same. And so you just need to continue talking about it.
In fact, that's a great segue into the story I want to talk about.
Oh no. Is this the prenup story?
This is the prenup story.
Oh boy.
I think it's important to share. Okay?
So wait, I get to tell the story after that.
The same story?
The parking story.
Oh yeah, you need to tell the parking story. So coming into our relationship, I had started when I first started like in the workforce, I had like a 401k from like my first early jobs.
Wow, rub it in.
And I had been saving for it because it was just automatically set up. I started saving for it. So when we got married, I had a significant chunk at the time. What was significant? It's still pretty significant. I had a chunk of savings that like I hadn't touched. I'd been living in LA and making money and whatever and saving this money.
What was in your 401k?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, when we get married, we're coming into this. I have a significant chunk of savings. Not like I'm some gold digger, but I have this and we're getting married and everything I had ever read about like women and money and all this was like protect it, and if your partner really loves you, they're not going to mind. And so...
Well, and I had nothing like that because I was working in nonprofit and I didn't even have a 401k until you were like, we should set one up.
Yeah, I was like, does your company offer one? We should set one up. And you're like, no. And I was like, well, let's just make an independent one for you.
Yeah.
So anyway, when we were getting married, I asked for a prenup, which, by the way, when I say it now, is so silly.
Do you think we could just rip it up now?
Yeah, yes, of course. I may already be ripped up. But at the time, it felt like the prudent decision, Did you see the fly just go
I
up?
did. I gotta say, I know that we're laughing about this and you're saying that, but like, I had no problem with it. I was like,
You did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You were totally cool about it. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I'm surprised our parents were laughing at me. Maybe I don't know. But everybody was, I don't even know if we told our parents.
I have no idea. I don't remember.
They're hearing it now. But
yeah, like you told your parents. I don't know.
Maybe. But it was just, I had read like a good amount of financial books and the early days. What was that woman's name? Susie Orman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had read all these so I was like, okay, I'm going to ask for this. And you were like, all right, whatever. And signed it. And now when I look back at that, it's so silly and so funny. Only because our relationship is where it is. And also, when we started dating, I had all this savings. We were making around the same amount. And now when you look at it, like, granted, Amanda's career, I have like 2 full-time jobs, but Amanda's career has skyrocketed. And you're definitely the breadwinner. And now that's why it's so funny to me that I'm like, well, what about that little savings nugget? But I think the lesson here is that it shows how well we communicate and how basically what the book said was true, that a partner that's really just in it for the relationship and you is not going to care, is not going to be worried about it. And we had built a strong foundation of talking about finances to begin with.
I love that we did that, and I also love that you even had that. It's funny now, but I knew nothing about 401ks and IRAs and all that stuff at the time, and to be honest, I still don't really. You manage all of that for us, and I'm grateful to have that, of we can talk about it, and I don't feel dumb by telling you that. I can just we can talk about what our goals are and what my goals are and how much money I'm making, and we can use that to leverage to save for our retirement. And I don't have to feel any sort of negative way about it because of the way that we communicate and the way that you just you kind of own that part of our relationship and don't make me feel bad about it, which is lovely.
No. Well, it also works out that I can get into the weeds on things. And so, when the pandemic happened, I got really into stocks.
Wait, do you remember when my dad?
Yeah. Okay. Wait, I'm not supposed to laugh before the story's even been told. But yes. Okay, so one of the things that happened during the pandemic, I did get into stock. I, by the way, made quite a bit of money just buying up things that had dropped and then waiting for them to skyrocket. So that always feels good to talk about. But one of the things, Amanda's dad pitched me, 2 things, I think. Well, one of the big ones was the dong, right?
Yeah, the Vietnamese dong. That's the story I wanted to tell.
He had heard some tip that the currency exchange for the Vietnamese dong to the US dollar was gonna go crazy. And he was like, you gotta go buy, and by the way, it is hilarious that it's called dong. So it's not lost on me. I went and bought a bunch of dong, okay? I still have the certificate.
Do we still have the dong?
Of course we have the dong. It never,
Can't say it with a straight face.
The projection never happened. Well, so I bought all this dong and thinking I was gonna sell it when the exchange rate quadrupled or whatever he said it was going to do, and then it just sat, and so now I've just got it. I think I could probably get it back. I'd probably lose a little bit of money, but the really funny part was that I'd had my certificate, and when my sister and her husband would come over, and I'd be like, "You guys want to see my dong?" No.
Funny.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story.
That's a good story.
But this all stemmed from you saying some really nice things about me. So thank you for that.
Well, it also is on the heels of so what I think our viewership and listenership needs to know is that Kaycee used to be very cheap.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. Used to be. I think person's still there.
You've loosened up a lot.
I agree, but it's still about what we're talking. There's specific things that I can still be cheap about.
That is very true. Okay, and one of them happens to be parking.
I try not to be penny wise, pound foolish, but sometimes I think that is pretty accurate.
Okay, I guess it was early in our dating time, maybe the year or 2 after I moved to Los Angeles. My parents came out to visit, and we were doing the whole tourist thing. And one day we decided we were going to take them down to Malibu, and we were going to go to the beach, and then we were going to have lunch at Malibu Seafood. And just kind of drive up the coast and show them coastal California. And so we drive out there, we're going, everybody's having a good day, and we pull into the parking lot at Malibu Seafood, and it's just like a honor system where you put $5 in the box and that's your parking payment. And Kaycee pulls in, looks at this thing and is like, who's gonna know? And she just walks off, and my parents are like, but you have to pay. And she's like, nah, who's gonna know? And my dad, he was just like, I can't, oh no, we just cannot do that. And he just loses his mind. And so he goes and he shoves $5 in the thing. And then we have been together, that was probably 2013. We got together in 2011. Okay, we've been together 14 years. In the 12 years that we have been together since that happened, it comes up at least every 6 months.
By the way, you're also talking about how I'm not that person anymore. Like, that was in our 20s. We were living in LA. They charge an arm and a leg for parking everywhere. You're constantly, like, just eating away at your money.
You cannot make this better.
So I saw a little box, and I was just like, my other thought was, no one's going to check. This is a quick little seafood joint. I'm going to be within eyesight of my car the whole time.
It's not better. It's still stealing.
So silly.
But so now whenever she spends money on something, my parents are like, "Oh, really?"
I know. Like, I feel like it happens. Like, I'll get them a nice Christmas gift, and they're like, "Oh, wow, Kaycee went on this too?
Really come a long way."
Yeah. Oh my God. That's what it really is. I think. I don't think that cheap person in me has gone anywhere. It's just particular when it comes out.
Fair.
It feels like it's almost like, I think, rooted in fairness, which I realize. I'm like, oh, $5 to park here. You got plenty of spots. You're in the middle of the beach at this restaurant. I'm about to go patronize your restaurant. This is stupid. No.
Whatever you have to tell yourself
okay,
here.
I know. I know.
Okay, well,
I hope there's some Angelinos out there listening to this that take my side.
It's a nice segue into the question I think you wanted to really talk about is, what do you spend money on? What are you willing to treat yourself on?
Yes. I feel like we talked about one thing. I do like to treat myself. So I'll spend money on like a mani-pedi. I don't get them a ton. I like a massage. I don't get them a ton. But when the time is right, when you feel like you need one, I don't have qualms about it. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I think the biggest thing we like to spend money on, though, is...
I didn't say we. I said you.
Oh.
We is a different story.
Yeah, we is travel, I think.
Yeah, we is experiences.
One. Yeah, for sure.
You know, our Dodger tickets, our Sparks tickets, traveling.
True. Yeah, you're right. Me, personally, I like to buy clothes.
Yes. Shoes. You like to buy shoes.
Shoes. I've been trying to get better. I haven't bought a new pair of shoes in a while. I've been trying to get better about all of that.
What about those Sambas?
Sambas? That's your... I don't have a pair of Sambas.
The Adidas
What's a Samba?
shoes?
Oh, that's the name of the Adidas shoes? Oh, well, guilty as charged. That was just like a month or two ago. Yeah, you might be right. But before that, it had been a few, I think. I don't know. Here's the thing. I did make my resolution this year to like buy less stuff. Oh. And that's really what I was focused on, is like, don't just try and be in the store and get it for that immediate, satisfaction.
Oh, I think I've noticed that a lot in you this year. You've really done a good job with that resolution.
Well, part of that too is like clothing is such a wasteful, like, as far as climate change goes, it's a problem. So just trying to be like more mindful about what I get. And you weren't part of my resolution, but you did go and get some like upcycled jeans or whatever, some like used jeans.
I actually really love that little shop that's here in Frogtown. It's called the Left Bank.
Yeah, shout out.
They have great like upcycled clothes.
Yeah. So I would say I think clothes and shoes, like you said, has been my little treat. What about you?
Well, I don't know. What do you think? I think it's probably food, because I like to buy food to cook. I love to cook, and you
like to go out to eat.
Yeah,
we like to go to good food experiences and stuff. That's mostly driven by you. If it were up to me, I often would just go to the same place where I get the same thing I know I love.
I guess that's true. Like the experience of food, whether I'm cooking it or we're going out, that's really important to me. And I will not blink an eye at a $300 restaurant bill, because I'm just like, this was fun.
Yeah. Oh, I did forget one for me. Much to your chagrin, Finnegan.
Oh, yeah, the dog.
I feel like I come home with something for him maybe every shopping trip. I've been better about that, too.
True. Mine used to be books. And then the way that you did kind of like be mindful of your spending year, I actually made an effort this year to stop buying so many books, both for like the climate change piece and the wasteful piece, and just like our budget.
And I think that those, at least for me, the buying less stuff was not about money. It was mostly about stuff.
Yeah, I think that's here too. And I made a resolution. I called them, what did I call them?
Goals or something?
They were like my intentions.
Oh, you just made it sound so hippy-dippy.
Well,
You're such an Angelino.
One of my intentions this year was to buy less books. And so I started out using my Kindle more, and then when all the stuff went down with Amazon, I was like, oh, that's a thing. And so I actually got really into the library this year.
And you just got me into it.
I just got you into the library.
I have a library card.
Like, I mostly get my books from the library. I do get them to my Kindle a lot of the time.
Or audiobooks.
Or like sometimes I'll do audiobooks on Libby. But I just I love going to the library. I used to go to the library every Saturday with my mom, and we would, when I was a little kid, and we would go and we would take our little stack and we'd return them, and then we'd get more, and we'd
I love that.
And so like even now, if I'm just like dropping in to pick something up, like it still brings about that like really lovely feeling for me. And so it was I've really enjoyed that intention.
I love it for you too, and it's also really fun to watch the way you're gobbling up books at a rate. Like I feel like in the past you would like wait and be like, okay, I'm gonna order like 2 or 3 more books. Like realizing like you can go through them you have like a very big appetite for reading, but this library situation has allowed you to really like lean in.
Yeah, I'm reading like 3 at a time. One on the Kindle, one physical, and listening to an audiobook.
I know. It's really cool to see and like be a part of because it's such a cool hobby of yours. And watching you share it with others, like you'll recommend for people, you'll talk about what you're reading about with people and stuff. Like it's cool. It's nice. But yeah, I feel like that's a good one for you. And also, shout out to the library. You guys get a library card. Amanda took me last weekend. I checked out 2 books. I walked out there. I was like, wait, these are just like free? I just have these for like 3 weeks or just mine? Like, this is crazy. I got a sewing book and one of my favorite little lesbian romance book. So I'm very, it's awesome.
There's also so much like other stuff you can get from the library that's free, like a California State Park Pass. You can rent.
Okay, this is not a commercial.
Gear. Okay, sorry. It's not a commercial for the library. Sorry. Okay. Anything else?
The last thing I wanted to say is, what do you save for? What do you save for? Well, I know right now we have been actively saving and talking about a house for a long, long time.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened for us yet, but we are ready when the right house and timing situation comes along. And that's definitely something we've been on our mind. Obviously, retirement's an ongoing thing. Also, it's very smart to have an emergency fund, which in this family is separate from our house fund. There is like a 6-month, they say 6 to 8 months is good. We don't have kids, so it's a little bit freer for us, but a 6-month emergency fund where if like we both lost our jobs or something, we could survive. So shout out to that, and just like me being Susie Orman again for a second.
I know we also kind of wanted to talk about like the differences of like how same-sex couples, like the types of money things we might run into, like managing, like preparing for children.
Yes.
Or and also like maybe even like about credit cards and debt. I don't know that should we make it part 2? Money part 2?
I mean, maybe. How many of these part 2s are we going to do?
I mean, I just think like you can always talk about money.
Yeah.
But just for the sake of time.
Let's do a part 2, because also I want to talk more about specifically same-sex kid planning, because that, though we don't have direct experience with that, we do have friends that do, and maybe we can chat with them and get some deets that we'll share.
Maybe one would want to come on.
Maybe. I was going to say either they share anonymously or maybe they could be a guest. But I would like to, it would be cool to talk about that with a little more insight from someone who's got children and maybe has gone through that whole thing. Because the truth is, it comes up about in a money conversation, because for same-sex couples, having a kid is so much of an investment. Not just you got to school them and feed them and clothe them for 18 years, but you've got to create them or adopt them, or whatever the situation might be, and that could be as a financial undertaking on its own. So, okay, well, let's wrap up with my favorite segment.
Okay, is it What's Gayer?
It sure is.
Yay!
Are there any other segments on this podcast?
You just called one dilly dallying, so I guess.
Yeah, we have 2 segments total, and then obviously the episode itself.
Right.
Content.
Well, okay. One thing that's different is this week from here on out, I don't know what the 2 options are. She literally blacked them out.
I know on your rundown.
My rundown.
I know. Hold it up for the people at home.
Here you go. See,
there you go.
Blacked out.
Okay. This week we have wearing a flannel to a Brandi Carlile concert.
That's really gay.
I mean, honestly, the concert alone could have been in the contention, but I've made it gayer. Wearing a flannel to a Brandi Carlile concert, or driving a Subaru to a Sparks game. Oh. You've heard it. Actually, we've done both of these things, so it's close.
They're both so gay. Can I say both?
No, you can't. You have to. I want to say it's neck and neck, but for the sake of the game, it's necktie and necktie. It's very close.
Okay. Okay, wait.
So flannel, obviously signature wardrobe of the gay. Yeah. Brandi Carlile, huge artist for like lesbians and queer people. Subaru, everybody knows that's a big old lesbian car.
Totally.
You basically have to be gay to drive one.
And the Sparks are Los Angeles' WNBA team.
Correct. So, what?
Okay. Here's the only way I can go with this, and that is that the Sparks are one of the least gay WNBA teams
Okay.
because one of the accounts that we follow on social media that's all about women's basketball, it did like a rating of every team in the WNBA, and the Sparks scored pretty low on it, and so.
Now, in fairness, that was just about how many gay players they had, not
and
how,
the mascots and
but not how actually gay women's basketball tends to be.
I need some sort of barometer because these are both so gay. Okay, so the least gay WNBA team, and all people can recognize that Subaru is the best car. Okay. So therefore, it's wearing a flannel to a Brandi
There it
Carlile
is.
concert.
You heard it here. And you're right about the Subaru. My mom drives a Subaru.
She does.
One of the straightest ladies I know.
Yes. Also, most of our friend group drives a Subaru, and most of them are lesbians.
Yeah. Well, it's a push-pull. Yeah. It's a yin and yang.
They're a good car.
Yeah, they are. They're good cars. Okay, so you're going flannel at a Brandi Carlile concert?
I'm going flannel at a Brandi Carlile concert.
I think when you really talk it through, I will agree with that. But I want to say on record that I think when it goes to the poll, Subaru Sparks game's going to win online.
I think so too, because basketball and
Yeah.
But wait, what if you added an undercut to your flannel?
But that's not fair. You have to add like a spiky mohawk to the other one. You can't gay it up.
Fine. They're both really gay.
They're both very gay. Okay, so go on my Instagram story and vote. It's at Kaycee Conlee, and we'll share the results next week, hopefully in a timely fashion. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching if you're watching. Also, we talked about this, but getting comfortable talking about money, I think communication is the biggest part of any relationship. And I would love to know if you're constantly Venmoing the same $30 back and forth.
With your friend group?
Yeah, no, in your relationship.
Oh, that too.
When you're dating. So if you are, share this episode with those friends or that significant other. And also tell us what you want us to talk about next. We have a nice list of topic ideas. It's ever growing, but we also would love to hear from you guys. So tell us what you want to hear us talk about next. And be sure to follow me at Kaycee Conlee and come to my show at Flappers November 14th. And Amanda?
Keep listening.
You're
Yay.
Adorable. All right.
I have nothing to promote.
I love that about you. You're just here supporting. You're the wife support.
Aw.
You put the support in wife support.
Gross. That's so gay. Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.